trust?
Trust.
So by now, I'm sure everybody has seen the GTA 6 trailer. What I'm interested in is the characters in it and the dual protagonist setup that's going to be in GTA 6 and the kind of Bonnie and Clyde relationship that we've got going. Joe's here to chat to me about it because he knows everything about GTA that's worth knowing. What do we think this relationship's going to be like, especially compared to GTA 5, which is a very different kind of relationship with the three guys?
I think it's really interesting because we obviously had a slight sense of where the characters were going through the various leaks that had happened last year for GTA 6. And whilst we had already heard of the character Lucille, as it stands, the other character, the male character, is unnamed. We reckon that's Jason. At no point was it really speculated on that they might be in a relationship, not to any degree. I certainly hadn't really thought about that myself. So when we see the trailer, and especially that scene towards the end where they appear to be in what looks like a hotel or a motel room, and they're in bed together, and they talk about trust, it certainly infers there's a romantic relationship there. And as you said, the difference between the trifecta of protagonists in GTA 5, and even going back to Nico and his relationship with all of his counterparts in GTA 4, if this relationship is a romantic one and we see these characters together, that completely changes the stakes in GTA 6. Whilst we had the platonic relationships of GTA 5, bromance for want of a better term, the same in GTA 4, the fact that these characters might be romantically involved, that changes everything. That changes, you're dealing with real raw emotion in the heat of a heist or battle or simply getting gunned down in the streets. So I think it's really interesting.
There's also this element where all of the GTA games, there's been bromances, but it's always been a business relationship. There's always this undercurrent of screwing people over, or maybe, and there's always an element of each character that you're playing, especially in GTA 5, you are looking out for that character in that moment. This completely changes everything, where it's like the decisions that you can make can change your relationship with the other person, and there could be story implications for how the story develops that you could add replayability, and that huge thing where the trailer just ends in, it's about trust. It's just like, oh, that's going to be a huge part of it. It's really interesting.
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that the business side of things come into these relationships, because I think going back to GTA 4, when we think about the 4-leaf clover bank heist mission with Paddy McCreary, that was so well regarded and so enjoyed by fans of GTA at the time that it was no surprise that heists took such a centre stage in GTA 5. Heists are obviously predicated by money. That's the whole point of it, to get something out of this. And GTA 5 was the perfect amalgamation of the kind of unreliable narrator, where each character has their own issues, they have their own prerogatives, they have their own agendas. And you're right, that's how, they're going to these heists, they're working together, but it is really for themselves. Now, that might still be the case in GTA 6. We're not sure the extent of the relationship. We don't even know for certain that there is a romantic relationship. It seems like that. That's the beauty of these teaser trailers. You get 90 seconds and then you speculate. We said this in the last video that we spoke, that when they showed the trailer, there was going to be so much speculation. That is certainly around the characters at the moment. Bonnie and Clyde seems to be the kind of infamous couple that everybody is referencing, and that seems to be the case. It's really exciting. Will that betrayal, will the double crossing be there? When they're speaking about trust, does that infer something that happened in the past or about the future? It's really exciting, and it'll get complicated, and it seems like if anyone is capable of delivering there, it's going to be Rockstar. So I'm hugely excited to see how it develops.
Yeah, I'm especially because Rockstar do like to play on your expectations, and they leave many main characters alive at the end when you think they're going to die. Bonnie and Clyde famously did not end well. So there is an element where you think this is going to end in a certain way. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to. Something else that I found very interesting with Lucia, obviously we see at the start she's in prison at the start of the trailer. But something else that people have noticed is in the poster, she's got a tag in the poster. So there's an assumption there as well where you're either going to be restricted by what you can do, and also how do you play? Because a lot of the time, not all the time, but a lot of the time in GTA 5, when you're playing as one of the characters, you were just on your own. Whereas this seems to be, especially at the end of the trailer, they're doing jobs together. So how does that work? Are we thinking co-op?
I mean, it's possible. I don't know. It would be sheer speculation at this point. I think that the tag thing is interesting. I've seen a lot of speculation online about how previous GTAs used to restrict the map. So if you were able to cross a bridge in GTA 4, all of a sudden you had the 5 and 6 stars chasing you. The tag would certainly, with restrictions in mind, as per the real world, that could be quite a quite a smart tongue-in-cheek way of restricting how much exploration is allowed at the very start. I think with the characters, speaking of them working together, one of the things I'm most interested in is how Rockstar makes us care about these characters. So we mentioned before the characters in GTA 5, you wouldn't really call them heroes, more anti-heroes. They're the kind of worst people. Even Franklin, who's clearly got a conscience, he's still, committing a lot of crime. And you're putting yourself into these people's shoes. You care about them through humour and through getting the job done. But if you introduce that romantic side of things, maybe that's how Rockstar leverage, that caring, the fact that you're investing in these characters and you don't want to see them fail, even whilst they're committing these crimes. Co-op would be brilliant. I'm not sure how, GTA 6 approaches GTA Online. That's a whole different conversation. But, I think even in single player, we'll be switching between the characters similar to how GTA 5 did it all those years ago. We saw something quite similar in Spider-Man 2 very recently. This will be the next iteration of that, and that alone is really exciting. And as superficial as it is, the hair physics looked absolutely fantastic, didn't they? It just shows you that this is a game for the next generation. And I saw people speculating about the still image, which is the promotional image now, and it's got Lucille wearing that tag, Jason sitting on the bonnet of a car. Someone saying the birds in the background might signify that there's kids involved, that the 3 birds are the 2 characters plus a child on the way. That's the beauty of this, isn't it? The rumours and the speculation just goes off the charts, and I love it.
Another one that I saw, which I thought, again, I love the speculation, was Jason at one point is holding a gun, I think in one of the pictures, and his watch is on the inside of his wrist, which some people do because it's easier to read. The speculation was that's also what John Wick does, so that when he's trying to be stealthy, the reflection of the watch doesn't attract attention, which apparently is an army thing. And I'm like, what? So they're like, maybe Jason's got an army background. I'm like, maybe he does. But oh my God, the thread that you got from his watch is on the inside, which is just like, I don't know. That's amazing. But like all these little...
That's interesting because GamesRadar's own Leon Hurley, who's very well versed in GTA, I saw him tweeting just shortly after the trailer saying that he managed to convince himself that Jason might be related to Nico Bellic, who also has a military background, so maybe that lends some credence to the watch thing. I think this world just looks incredible. You spoke about the activities. We saw shots of possibly base jumping, there was jet skis, we saw the beach. We're in a nightclub at one point. I was trying to freeze the frame so many times because obviously there was the After Hours update in GTA Online in 2018. Rockstar now has a collaboration with Circle Loco, the famous club in Ibiza. They've got Circle Loco Records. The DJ looked a little bit like Peggy Goo. I wasn't sure. It's hard to see. All these things will come out in terms of the extracurricular activities that the characters are able to do. And no doubt, as we said at the very start, if this is a romantic relationship, those activities and that romance will surely feed in some way or form.
All I care about is there a twerk button? Because there was 3 different instances of twerking in the trailer, which I think is way more than anybody thought there'd be. So I want to be able to hit triangle and they just start twerking for no apparent reason.
Possibly, but we may get to see some use of the social media side of things. It's clearly there's a TikTok-esque style social media app or network in this game, in the same way that Life Invader was Facebook in the last game and Bleater was Twitter. So it's obviously keeping up with the times. You might, even if you can't twerk yourself, maybe you can go and spot others doing it in the street, who knows?
Well, I think it's safe to say that everybody was blown away by this trailer and it exceeded all expectations. Now, we've just got to wait for the gameplay trailer. We can finally get a proper look at how GTA 6 plays, and then we can just keep looking forward to 2025 when the game hopefully finally comes out. Remember to check GamesRadar for all the latest information on GTA 6.
Trust.
Trust.